Hi everyone, welcome back to Job 1 for All. In this video, we are going to talk about Iterator. Iterator is especially useful when, for example, you want to remove data from a collection that is a iterator, because Iterator is an interface, in a safe way. So let's just give some examples. Let's go back to our manga, and I'm going to add here another attribute, private int quantity, and I'm going to overload the constructor, select everything, but just fix this using this, just delegate the responsibility, and to a string I'm going to generate a new one with all the attributes, and getters and setters for quantity. Now I want to, for example, and I will go back to our manga by title, no, manga sort, and I'm going to copy these little guys. And let's create a new class called Iterator test 01. Now we have here our mangas, but let's give some quantity. Let's say that we have in our stock like 0, and here we have 5, and here we have 0, and here we have 8, and down here we have also 0. So basically I want you to remove everything that has quantity equals to 0. So I want to know only mangas that are available to sell. Cool. Your first thought may be creating an array and checking if manga.getQuantity is 0. And William told me that we can use mangas.remove, and because we have the object equals perfectly defined, we can just get this manga, right? So Control Shift F10, and we have, and I hope, concurrent exception. There you go. Concurrent modification exception. So basically, for each is not the best approach if you want to change the structure, the size of your collection. What is the other option? We have two options. Let's talk about the first one. The first one is using Iterator. So basically, if you go to list and extends collection, extends iterable. So this means that this will have available for us mangas to not to, but iterator. So mangas.iterator will return iterator, and we need to understand what is iterator. So imagine that you are at the bank, and usually at banks you have queues, and you as the iterator, you need to get people from the queue. Imagine that the queue is the list of mangas, but before you actually get someone, you are always going to check. You are going to look at the queue, and then if someone is there, you are just going to point the finger, hey, you come here. And then when that person comes here, you go to the next. You first look if there is someone in the queue, you point the finger, and you ask that person to come. Basically, this is what the iterator is going to do. And we have to do that until the whole list is transversed. So manga iterator dot while there is next, basically you are looking at the queue. So if there is next, I can call, because I know for sure that someone is there. So I know for sure that we have a manga. So this is like a pointer, and we can call manga iterator dot next, and the next, as you can see here, the has next is going to return a boolean. It's there or it's not there. And then the next is going to return the object itself, the objects that we have inside our list. Now, with this object in hands, we can do exactly the same thing. If manga.getQuantity equals 0, I can remove safely through my iterator. Because now, if I print here, the iterator will provide a safe way of removing data from that list. And as you can see, we only have the ones available that has quantity over 0. So pretty cool. If you ever want to remove something, iterator is your way to go. But there is another way, even better way we are going to learn is using functional programming. So what is functional programming? Basically, it's a different style of programming. And from Java 8, Java made it possible for us to use that as well. So this is called imperative programming. Honestly, it's easier to understand, but once you get a grasp of functional programming, you look at the imperative programming and say, this is a bit ugly. But there are several things that are a bit more difficult when working with functional programming. But we are going to talk about functional programming later in this course. First, you need to understand a little bit and get familiar with auto collections, generics, and then we can start talking about functional programming. So how can we do it in a functional programming way? Basically, we call mangas, and then we have this remove if, that's asking for this weird predicate filter thing. So basically, the syntax is the following. You first need to declare a variable, reference variable. You can give any name. You can give SHA, you can give, no, this is not valid, but you can give anything. The point is, this is like a for each. So if you are iterating over mangas, the name you are giving here, so for example, is this one. It's basically the same thing. You could give any name here. And we now use this arrow. And now it comes the condition. What's the condition? If manga dot get quantity equals 0. So basically that is the syntax for functional programming, and this is how you can remove all the mangas that has the quantity equals to 0. Now if I remove all of this is, even though you don't see it, but behind the scenes, if you go to remove if, look what they are using. So basically they are using iterator behind the scenes. So Ctrl Shift F10 and you get exactly the same result. Okay, so this is enough information about iterator. Let's continue in the next video. Bye.